Alright, so you want to know how to film your own video game footage and add commentary. If that's the case, then you've come to the right place. But before we get started, I'd like to make a couple of things clear, just in case some of you aren't entirely sure as to what's going on. First off, this is one of many different ways you are able to record video game footage. This just happens to be the way that I personally film my own. Second, I'm not entirely sure if the same setup will work when filming HD footage. I film my footage in standard definition, so I'm not sure if this works on HD. And third, this should work with any video game console that has the yellow, white, and red adapters. This is not a setup that will record computer game footage. Alright, with that being said, let's jump into the first part of this tutorial, which is the equipment is required to do what I do. Record the video game footage and add in your own commentary. This can be done for Let's Plays, walkthroughs, machinimas, just about anything. So let's get to it. The first and foremost important thing that you need is a functional capture card. Personally, I use the Dazzle DVD recorder. Whenever you're picking out your video recorder, you need to make sure that it is functional on your computer. At the time, I bought a Dazzle DVD recorder that only works on Windows XP. So I am forced to use my Dazzle on Windows XP. Now, I know for sure that newer models of Dazzle will work on Windows Vista and Windows 7. Also, if you own a Mac, you need to look into getting a Mac-specific Dazzle. As far as I know, you have to buy a specific model of the Dazzle, which is on their website. Make sure that whatever capture card you get, it is functional for your operating system. And the Dazzle will probably cost you around $50. Other capture cards cost more or less, but I am not familiar with the other capture cards, so I'm not entirely sure if they're necessarily any better or any worse. But I have had no problems with my Dazzle as far as functionality-wise goes. Second thing you need is 3 AV splitters. They need to have 1 male end and 2 female ends. This is very important because if you don't get the right ones, it won't work. It won't work correctly. I'll have pictures on screen so you'll know exactly what to get. Now, some of these AV splitters, they're all black. They're just like a black wire. Some of them have colors. If you find an AV splitter that has a black tip, a black male end, and then it has a white and red female end, those will work as well as just the solid black AV splitters. If you are a bit unsure about what to get, you could ask anybody in your local electronics store and they'll easily be able to sort you out. The AV splitters can run you anywhere between $2 to $3 or $5 to $7. I've seen some pretty crummy looking AV splitters, so I would probably suggest getting the ones from $5 to $7. They should sell AV splitters at just about any electronic store. I know they sell them at Walmart, but personally I got mine at Radio Shack. The third thing that you'll need is an AV cable. The AV cable is generally a black cord that has yellow, white, and red adapters on both ends of it. Make sure that both ends have to be male. Male on one side and male on the other side. This is also very important, otherwise things won't work out correctly for you. You generally don't have to go out anywhere to buy an AV cable. If you own a DVD player or VCR somewhere, if you look through the old boxes or something, you'll more than likely have a spare AV cable. That's how I got mine. But if you can't find them, you can look just about any electronic store. And they're relatively cheap. I'd say probably around $10. So that's not too bad. You could go all out of your way and buy more expensive cables, but I have no experience with the more expensive cables. I just have the thing that came with my VCR, which works perfectly fine for me. Fourth thing you need is a working microphone. If you don't have a microphone, you can easily get a cheap $10 microphone and you should be good to go. I would also like to suggest getting a headset rather than a traditional desk microphone. Main reason for this is that you are able to... The microphone is always positioned next to your mouth. You don't have to worry about moving away from the microphone unless you move you actually move the microphone on the headset. It's always going to be in its specific spot, and it's not going to move anywhere no matter how you move your head or anything. And these can run you $10 through pretty much as high as you want to pay. I've seen headsets run up into the hundreds of dollars before, but I wouldn't recommend those if you're just doing it for Let's Plays. The fifth thing you need is capture software. If you get the Dazzle, it will come with the Pinnacle software, and I use this to capture my video, and it works fine for me. And any video card you get should come with capture software. So as far as this part goes, you should be good to go. And sixth, the last piece of equipment that you need is voice recording software. Any voice recording software works great. I use a program. It's an old program actually. I wouldn't recommend getting it because there's new versions of it out now. But it's called Magic's Music Maker 10 Deluxe. It's really old, but it works. It works with XP at least. It doesn't work so great with Vista or 7. But if you need a free voice recording software, you can always go to Audacity. Audacity is a free program. It works great. It's easy to use. And I will probably be using that in my other parts of this tutorial. So that just about does it with part 1, the equipment. Stay tuned for part 2, where I will show you how to set everything up and get you ready for part 3, which will be recording, and concluding with part 4, which is editing. So, see you then. Take it easy. Bye. Hope this helped.